Imagine living in a place where speaking your mind can cost you everything, where fear is a tool, silencing dissent. This is the reality for many Russians under Putin's regime. Yet, amidst this oppression, bravery flickers. Individuals rise, willing to sacrifice everything for freedom. They are the antidote to tyranny. Their stories, captured in the documentary Antidote, remind us of the indomitable human spirit. Authoritarian regimes thrive on silence, on the unquestioning obedience of the masses. They build walls of fear, meticulously crafted through propaganda and oppression. These regimes understand that courage is contagious. A single spark of defiance can ignite a blaze of resistance. That's why they work tirelessly to crush dissent before it can even find its voice. The documentary Antidote throws open a window into this world of silenced voices and muffled cries for freedom. It introduces us to ordinary Russians who have chosen an extraordinary path, the path of resistance. These are not hardened revolutionaries or seasoned political activists. They are teachers, journalists, and artists who have been compelled to act by a force greater than their fear. Their stories are a testament to the power of the human spirit, a beacon of hope in a world grappling with the resurgence of authoritarianism. The film serves as a stark reminder that the fight for freedom is universal and that even in the face of overwhelming odds, courage can blossom. Antidote introduces us to three individuals: Anna, a teacher who uses her platform to enlighten her students about the realities of the regime; Boris, a journalist who risks his life to report the truth; and Yulia, an artist who utilizes her art as a form of protest. Anna, a woman of quiet strength, understands the power of knowledge. She knows that the regime thrives on misinformation and ignorance. In her classroom, she carefully cultivates critical thinking, encouraging her students to question the narratives fed to them. Her classroom becomes a sanctuary of truth, a space where young minds are empowered to think for themselves. Boris, a man driven by an unwavering belief in the power of truth, navigates the treacherous world of investigative journalism. He understands the risks, knowing that his every move is watched, his every word scrutinized. Yet, he persists, driven by the belief that exposing the regime's lies is the first step towards dismantling it. Yulia, an artist whose soul bleeds onto her canvases, transforms her pain and anger into powerful works of art. Her art is not mere decoration, it's a weapon, a tool of resistance. Each stroke of her brush is a defiant cry for freedom, a splash of color against a monochrome backdrop of oppression. Courage under an authoritarian regime comes at a heavy price. Anna, Boris, and Yulia face constant surveillance, their lives entangled in a web of fear and paranoia. The threat of imprisonment, or worse, looms large, casting a long shadow over their lives and the lives of their loved ones. Anna lives with the constant fear of being reported, of losing her job, her freedom. Her apartment is bare, stripped of any incriminating materials. Every knock on the door sends shivers down her spine. Yet, she persists, fueled by the belief that her students' minds are worth fighting for. Boris, no stranger to intimidation tactics, has been interrogated, detained, and threatened. His family worries for his safety, urging him to give up his dangerous work. But he knows that silence is not an option, not when the truth is at stake. Yulia's art, once celebrated, is now deemed subversive, dangerous. She faces censorship, her exhibitions shut down, her voice silenced. But she refuses to be silenced, finding new and creative ways to share her art and her message of resistance. Section 4. Hope's Whisper, a ripple effect. Despite the immense risks, the acts of courage displayed by Anna, Boris, and Yulia are not in vain. Their defiance, however small it may seem, has a ripple effect. They inspire others to question, to resist, to hold on to hope. Anna's students, emboldened by her example, begin to see the world with a more critical eye. They start questioning the propaganda, sharing their newfound knowledge with their families and friends. The seeds of dissent, sown in the fertile ground of young minds, begin to sprout. Boris's journalism, though often relegated to the fringes of the internet, finds an audience hungry for the truth. His words, shared and amplified through social media, chip away at the regime's carefully constructed facade of stability. Yulia's art, though censored in her homeland, finds a voice on the international stage. Her powerful images, shared and celebrated globally, serve as a reminder of the human cost of oppression and the indomitable spirit of those who resist. Section 5. A global fight. The stories featured in Antidote are not just about Russia. They are a reflection of a global struggle. Across the world, authoritarianism is on the rise, democracy is under threat, and the voices of dissent are being silenced. The courage of individuals like Anna, Boris, and Yulia serves as a beacon of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit yearns for freedom. Their stories transcend borders, reminding us that the fight for democracy is a collective one. By supporting dissidents, by amplifying their voices, and by holding authoritarian regimes accountable, we can help ensure that the antidote to tyranny continues to spread. The fight for freedom is a marathon, not a sprint. It requires unwavering commitment, unwavering courage, and an unwavering belief in the power of the human spirit. It's a fight we cannot afford to lose. For when one person stands up against tyranny, they inspire countless others to find their own courage, to raise their own voices, and to demand a better future for themselves and for generations to come.